Emotions offer another window into honesty, but only when they match the situation. Genuine emotions appear naturally and fade naturally. Fake emotions often arrive at the wrong moment or last longer than necessary. Someone pretending to be shocked may react after everyone else has already responded. A smile intended to hide discomfort may disappear the instant attention shifts away. Sometimes the emotion itself isn't unusual. The timing is. Human emotions are remarkably synchronized with authentic experiences. Deception disrupts that synchronization, creating tiny inconsistencies between what is felt, what is shown, and what is said. One of the most overlooked signs of deception is excessive control. Skilled liars often believe that appearing calm is the key to appearing truthful. As a result, they become almost too controlled. Their posture hardly changes. Their facial expressions remain carefully balanced. Their voice stays surprisingly consistent. Ironically, genuine conversations are naturally imperfect. Honest people interrupt themselves, laugh unexpectedly, forget small details, and occasionally correct their own memories. A story that sounds rehearsed from beginning to end may be impressive, but real life rarely follows a perfect script. Another psychological phenomenon worth understanding is cognitive overload. Every lie requires maintenance. Unlike the truth, which exists independently of memory, a lie survives only if the liar remembers every invented detail. The longer the conversation continues, the heavier this mental burden becomes. New questions force constant adjustments. Old statements must remain consistent. Contradictions become increasingly difficult to avoid. This is why experienced interviewers rarely accuse someone immediately. Instead, they allow the conversation to continue naturally. Time often becomes the greatest enemy of deception, because maintaining a false reality demands enormous mental effort. Perhaps the most dangerous liars are not the nervous ones, but the persuasive ones. They don't simply tell lies. They shape your perception. They redirect attention, appeal to emotions, create urgency, or make you question your own memory. Instead of defending their story, they subtly encourage you to defend it for them. This psychological manipulation is often far more powerful than the lie itself. Once people become emotionally invested in believing someone, they unconsciously ignore evidence that challenges that belief. In many cases, deception succeeds not because the liar is exceptionally convincing, but because the listener desperately wants the story to be true. Ultimately, recognizing deception is not about becoming suspicious of everyone around you. It's about learning to observe people with greater awareness. No gesture, expression, or sentence can prove that someone is lying. But when changes in behavior, inconsistencies in memory, unusual language patterns, emotional mismatches, and cognitive strain begin appearing together, the truth often starts revealing itself without anyone saying a word. The next time you feel that quiet instinct telling you something doesn't quite fit, don't ignore it. But don't rely on it alone either. Observe patiently. Ask thoughtful questions. Compare actions with words. Because the greatest weakness of every lie is the same. The longer it exists, the harder it becomes to keep every piece of it perfectly aligned. And eventually, even the most carefully constructed deception begins to crack under the weight of its own complexity. Imagine discovering that the person sitting across from you is lying, not with obvious nervousness or dramatic facial expressions, but with complete confidence. They smile naturally. They answer your questions without hesitation. They look directly into your eyes. Nothing seems unusual, yet something feels wrong. The unsettling reality is that the most convincing lies rarely look like lies at all. They hide beneath ordinary conversations, everyday relationships, and familiar faces. Every day we make decisions based on what other people tell us, trusting that their words reflect reality. But what if the truth is only part of the story? What if the greatest skill isn't learning how to lie, but learning how to recognize deception before it quietly shapes your decisions? Today, we'll explore the psychology behind lying, uncover why people reveal themselves without realizing it, and learn the subtle signs that separate honest communication from carefully crafted deception. One of the biggest myths about lying is the belief that there is a single clue that exposes everyone. People often say that liars avoid eye contact, fidget constantly, or touch their faces. While these behaviors can appear during deception, they also happen when people are anxious, shy, or simply uncomfortable. Human behavior is far too complex for one gesture to reveal the truth. The real secret is understanding that deception creates pressure. Lying forces the brain to perform several difficult tasks at once, inventing believable information, remembering previous statements, controlling emotional reactions, and predicting how another person will respond. This mental pressure rarely disappears completely. Instead, it leaks into behavior in subtle and unexpected ways. The first thing to observe is not how someone behaves, but how their behavior changes. Every person has a natural rhythm when they speak. Some tell long stories filled with details, while others communicate briefly. Some move their hands constantly, while others remain perfectly still. When someone begins hiding the truth, maintaining that natural rhythm becomes much harder. They may suddenly pause before answering questions they would normally answer instantly. Their voice may become flatter or unusually energetic. A relaxed posture may slowly become rigid. These changes are often so small that they go unnoticed, but together they create a picture that deserves attention. Detecting deception is less about spotting strange behavior and more about recognizing unexpected changes. Another fascinating clue lies in how memories are described. Genuine memories are usually imperfect. Honest people often admit uncertainty by saying, "I think it happened around 6," or "I'm not completely sure." Their memories contain natural gaps because real experiences fade over time. Liars often do the opposite. They either remember everything with suspicious precision or avoid details altogether. Some construct stories filled with unnecessary information, believing that complexity creates credibility. Others keep their answers extremely short, hoping to avoid making mistakes. Ironically, both extremes can become warning signs. The truth usually flows naturally. Fabricated stories often sound either too polished or strangely incomplete. Pay close attention to the way someone responds when asked unexpected questions. People recalling genuine experiences usually answer from memory, while people lying often answer from preparation. Ask a question they didn't expect, and you may notice a brief interruption in their confidence. Instead of answering immediately, they might repeat your question, laugh nervously, or shift the conversation toward a different topic. This doesn't happen because they forgot the answer. It happens because the answer doesn't exist yet. Their brain is quietly building it while trying to appear effortless. Those tiny moments of hesitation often reveal more than long speeches ever could. Language itself can also betray hidden intentions. Interestingly, people become psychologically distant from their own lies. Instead of saying, "I deleted the message," they may say, "The message disappeared." Responsibility becomes passive. Personal involvement slowly fades from their vocabulary. Some liars even begin using fewer personal pronouns, such as I or me, unconsciously separating themselves from the false story they are telling. These patterns happen beneath conscious awareness,
making them surprisingly difficult to fake consistently. While no single phrase proves deception, repeated distancing language can become an important piece of the puzzle.